In 1965, Reb Zalman Serebransky Zatzal had a dream to start Yeshivah Gedolah in Melbourne.
Then came the matriculation class, the first matriculation class of the Yeshiva. They said if you would have a Yeshivah Gedolah, we would stay to study in Yeshivah Gedolah. Some of them said so. We had a meeting and we decided that we would make a Yeshivah Gedolah.
February the 5th, 1966, we went to Gothland Street and we sat down and we started learning. We took bricks and a plank to make the first bookshelf. Chaim Serebransky got some basic beds. We put some globes in and we were happy. A few weeks later we moved to Kalimna Grove, and that was already luxury. We had carpets, we had a bit of heating.
My involvement with the Yeshivah Gedolah began as one of the first Talmidim in that first year, I think in 1966, Tovshin Chavov. And I personally looked at it as really just a stepping stone to eventually going overseas to a full-fledged yeshiva. The Rebbe told me that I should Yamshich Limudov B'Yeshiva Seinu Melbourne, that I should continue learning, and he used the expression B'Yeshiva Seinu, in our yeshiva in Melbourne. And therefore I was stuck.
Interesting memories I have is people asking me, what is this idea of learning? You should be in university, you've been accepted an engineering degree, and it was a common reply that the two are not mutually exclusive.
In 1971 I was a part-time student at Yeshivah Gedolah. And this was a time when my generation, including myself, were actively involved in everything other than spiritual pursuits. We were about having a good time. And at that time I met Reb Zalman Serebransky, and he introduced me to Yeshivah Gedolah, and I started learning there on a regular basis. And Yeshivah Gedolah at that time really gave me a moral compass, an understanding of Yiddishkeit, a love of learning, and a lot of values that I still carry forward to this day.
Probably the most important single contribution it gave to me was introduced me to serious learning, especially Gemara. I very much enjoyed learning the Gemara, and I think it instilled in me a love for learning. Over 10 years or so, I've been learning very seriously, I would think. I've been learning every day. I've been doing Daf Yomi.
If you start Daf Yomi on Wednesday this week together with the new cycle, in about 9 weeks' time, you will have learned 63 blot of Gemara, you will have completed Masechta Brachos, and have made your first Daf Yomi Siyum.
But in Hebrew, it actually means fit for purpose.
Well, I went to YG almost immediately after school, Yeshiva College, in 1981. Having studied in a number of yeshivas overseas and also going through university and the workforce, I find that the benefits of studying under Rabbi Cohen in Yeshivah Gedolah, it's one of the finest yeshivas available in terms of learning how to learn. You learn Gemara, it gives you the ability to delve into a problem and not just let it stump you.
YG was a place where I think I started to do some of my growing up. I started to learn how to learn. The nature of the experience is very rich. The program is intense in a way that you don't experience at university. For example, the program starts early in the morning and continues on till late at night.
Then there'll be the argument.
That sort of discipline sets you up for life. It's the discipline of learning, the discipline of intellectual inquiry, and these things that you carry with you through your life.
Es laufen na durch die Chasho noch Chasho Rambam, Rambam, Rabbeinu Tam Nicht da in der Welt noch kein besserer Tam Yom Arevun, Erev Sovo Amemune Ot auf dem Shammai Amol noch geklopft Gekommen ist Hillel und anders gesagt Bis in der Reuschen hat schon gesagt
My father got very much involved together with my uncle and Rabbi Zalman Serebransky, of course, in collecting the finances for it, and ended off giving a lot of shiurim there in the yeshiva, and was, I don't know whether it was officially appointed, but became one of the Rosh Yeshivas there of the Yeshivah Gedolah, which was to last for many, many years until actually, till he passed away just 3 years ago. We would look forward to his shiurim. His shiurim were always exciting shiurim. They were couched in the vernacular, and both the very, very learned young men and even the beginners were able to really benefit from the type of shiurim that he gave.
Besides actually starting to develop an appreciation for learning, Yeshivah Gedolah gave me one thing which is very much a community ethic. The boys there, particularly the shluchim, gave me an example, a dugma chaya, that you've got to contribute to the community and you have to help others in whatever way you're capable, whether that be giving shiurim, whether that be taking youth groups or being a madrich in camp, whether that be a miftzoyim, whatever it is.
2 minutes. 8:30. You actually stop.
About 10,000 people have been killed in southern and Southeast Asia by huge waves.
That any Israeli citizen that was to be found in Thailand should contact one of our Chabad centers.
The Jewish community of this country has been on the forefront of the efforts. At Tulane University, the director of the Abad, Rabbi Rivkin, brought teams of students to New Orleans and southern Mississippi and other communities hit by the storm. And he called in folks to help. He didn't say head away from the storm area. He said, let's take it right to the middle of the storm area to help people. And one of those rescued from New Orleans put it this way: in the days after Katrina hit, Chabad saved lives.
I think it's a great idea. The guys coming here keeps us sort of together. It's a nice mitzvah. It's a good mitzvah that they're doing what they're doing. They don't charge anything for that, and they're just doing it just by being good Jews and good kids. And I think God should bless them and us.
I've been receiving visits from students from Yeshivah Gedolah now for many, many years, more years than I can remember. And the proof of it all is that I've been receiving these lamplighters. Whenever they come, they give me a copy of the lamplighter, which the first one I received was number 11.
Quite a special sanctuary that's created for half an hour or so in the afternoon. We lay tefillin, we discuss the portion, we have a vigorous, polite debate on aspects of it, on interpretation of the Torah. When whoever is with me leaves, I feel quite special, as if I've had just that little half an hour, which is a precursor to Shabbat.
The search for meaning. Search for meaning. That's the number one question. What am I doing here? What's my life all about? What's the point? What's the purpose? The Bacham know already all my tales.
The very atmosphere that's created in a community by the knowledge that there is a yeshiva there is an institution of intense Torah learning. It has an enormous benefit for the community as a whole, and not just our community, but the Melbourne Jewish community at large.
In der Mitten weg der Malach steht, zet der Ayid am Schulach, geht der Talles Kotten allein gut bereit, hat sich der Freit. Die Teure hat der Leint, und der Meschulach hat der Dein. Wart nur, sagt halt sag nicht, ich geb bei Haare sit. Kein gleiche Porl hat nicht wie die Teure mit dem Jid. Beide seien die beste Verein, weil man hat sie beiden Feind. In ein Beure gläubt Jid, und kein Schlechtern kann nicht. Covid hat dem Mame geht, und dem heiligen Shabbos hielt. Wie der Malach hat es der Held, hat sich zurückgekehrt und gesagt auf den Himmel dort, als die Teure so von Besten.